Hey guys, welcome to our tutorial on how to edit landscape in Lightroom with Husseynli. This is how the picture looked like before editing, and this is how it looks like now. Quite dramatic change, and today I am going to share with you how we came to this result. What I did first, I started with increasing the exposure because the photo looks a little bit dark and we would like to bring some lights to this photo. So it looks already a little bit better. But there's a lot of shadows, so I would like to increase to bring some details back by increasing the shadows, so you see how dramatically it changes your results already. So imagine we were here somewhere and we came from there back to here. That's already dramatic change. But what I don't like here is that there is a lot of highlights over here, so there's a lot of details lost, so that I want to get back. So therefore I would like to a little bit practice with highlights. So you see I'm changing the highlights, so that's quite dramatic change. I mean, look at that, how much details are coming back. All these lines, you see how the cloud was there dramatic, and that you bring back by decreasing the highlights, because there's a lot of lights over there and that is a little bit burning, so to say. What I would like to also do a little bit, I feel that there is a little bit contrast is missing, so let's say up to 30, that looks fine. So if I go back here, yeah, that, I don't know how you guys, but I like it a little bit this way. All right, then I would like to decrease a little bit of whites, let's say. All right, that would be too much, so let's say around 22, 25, so that should work. Blacks, no, wrong way. No, it's already pretty, it has already enough light, so I don't want to touch blacks. Coming to clarity, what I like to do, I increase clarity up to 100% in order to see how and which part of the picture is changing in a which way. And that gives me already a lot of information on which side of the pictures I can change, I can manipulate, I can get back, or I can highlight, let's say. Because I'm not going to use 100% of the clarity. What I'm going to do, I'm going to probably use a little bit plus 40 clarity or something like that around here, but that gives me, when I go extremely to the right, it gives me a lot of information on how details are changing when I change the clarity extremely to the right, you know, and that already tells me something about possibility what I can do. So I'm fine. I think around 40 should be fine. Therefore, I don't want to play more with clarity because it will look simply too unrealistic. So let's move to tone curve here. I like to start first with not working on point curve, but increasing here. I mean, moving here the tools and seeing how it affects the photo. If it does give you anything, then we keep that. Then we can move, of course, back to point curve, and then work with points. So here I want to increase. Aha! What I do again, I increase extremely to the right, extremely to the left, and then see how the photo reacts. You know, I go to the right, so it already tells me if I increase here what kind of details here is hiding. You know, so let's say this 55, 53 is fine. It's just fine. And let's increase a little bit lights. Let's say that's fine, a little bit. Let's say around 12 or 15, doesn't matter, doesn't make much difference. So we have here a little bit curveness, if you may call it, so which gives you a little bit of contrast, if you may say so. And but of course some people use these contrasts, some people use this tone curve in an S shape for getting the contrast. That is little bit different contrast that you can get there, and I do that as well. Quite interesting, quite funny. Just try it. I mean, you're not losing anything. If you don't like it, just go back and experience. That is the best way how you learn it. So I want to give a little bit of shadows, give a little bit of fade to these pictures so that it looks a little bit film, in a film way. So it's like it has a film filter, if I may call it so. So let's say if I increase here, you see how it changes the picture in a quite dramatic way. It affects. So you have to be really careful with that, because I mean, if you make it too, if you use it too much, the picture will look unrealistic. And I don't know how you guys, but I don't like it. I mean, what we need, why we need Lightroom is just simply just to get the details back and to highlight the points that we like, and to show that how we see the picture. Of course, I mean, you may color it completely dark, and if you like it, I personally don't prefer, so I go a little bit this way. I'd say 5-6%, something in between, but I'm not going to bother more, so that should be fine. So kind of S-curve, which gives us a little bit of contrast. And again, if you want to use it as a contrast, you can kind of create S-curve in tone curve, and that will increase your contrast, but not always. So just try, experience, and see. Then let's move to the colors, which is one of the most important. I mean, there are sometimes colors are not so important in the picture, because I don't know, I mean, if you use black and white, or if you simply desaturate the pictures, then you are not that flexible with colors, so you don't have that kind of big room for playing with colors. So here I would like to work a little bit with saturation, because let's say the yellow has quite significant let's say, influence on the picture. So there's a lot of yellow, and let's increase a little bit of yellow, let's say up to 25, 22, that's fine. Let's move to green and see how the green affects. Yeah, here you have to be careful so that you don't green it too much, if I may call it so, but just right in a right way so that it doesn't look again unrealistic. So 25 something, 30, I would be fine. It doesn't look that unrealistic in this way, I would say. In fact, it was like that when we took this picture. Aqua, one of the main colors of this picture. Look how aqua is changing, aqua color. Look at this area, look at this river. It is changing dramatically. It is changing a lot. There is, look, you decrease aqua to -100, the river completely loses its color. And in fact, the river was looking exactly like this. I mean, like something like this. It was looking in this wonderful green tone. Yeah, and I just want to highlight a little bit, not to delete it, but highlight a little bit, so that, I mean, there is, if I move from 0 to 100, there is not very much, not significant difference. So therefore, I am not afraid to go a little bit extreme to the right. So therefore, just do it, just try it. And if you see that, if you feel that way good, then that's it. So blue color, a little bit of blue. Blue affects this area of the picture. Therefore, we want to give a little bit of blueness, if I may call it so, in order to highlight the coldness of the mountains at one point. So we are fine with saturations, saturation, and like to move a little bit to luminance. At one point, decrease luminance of this aqua color because it's a little bit too bright. So so that gives us already quite. You see how the river is changing. It's getting even. You decrease the luminance, it's even more getting more dramatic. So, but anything else in this color correction, I really don't want to touch. I would go to split toning. I'm not big fan of this split toning, so and I don't think that there is really need for sharpening. Yeah, there is the picture is not perfectly clear, but that's fine. I mean, I am fine with that, quite frankly speaking. So yeah, probably I will work a little bit on smoothness of the river, but that's it, because otherwise the trees and so on, they are just fine. So I enable a little bit of profile correction, didn't bring you much. So I am also a big fan of vignetting, but I'm not going to do that here, because look here, vignetting is simply destroying your picture. So I don't want to lose any single detail in this picture because I love it so much. All right, what I would like to do now, I would like to give I would like to highlight some this area and then work a little bit on the clouds, because the clouds are simply stunning here. I don't know how you guys, but I love it. All right, what I'm going to do, what I would like to do is to work on some tools a little bit, with some tools a little bit. So let's start with radial filter. Make sure that you have set up everything to 0. You can do that by clicking twice, by double click to this effect. So exposure, I would like to increase a little bit exposure of this area, give some highlights to this area, because I see here some depths, and I think it will just fit perfectly if we highlight exactly this area. And you shouldn't see anything because I haven't changed anything yet, but if I increase exposure a little bit, then voila, it's, I don't know how you guys, but I think it looks much better. Look, this, we are moving it a little bit, but I like it right exactly here because there is some depth. There is the forest is changing its shape, and I want to highlight that shape, you know. And let's see how it looked like without it. That's how it was without it, and now that's how it is. I think it's much better. So if you go back to brush, there are a couple of things, of course, that you can do a lot of things actually with brush, but particularly with in this photo, I want to work on these clouds, on this sky, and let's say decrease a little bit exposure of this area first, and then increase something over here so that we give a little bit of contrast. And I don't want to do very much, but just a little bit. Therefore, seeing something like this, because I don't like the contrast completely here. It's not just simply popping up, but I really want to separate the sky from the ground. And so like that. No, too much. No contrast, I don't like that way. So let's keep contrast 0 and exposure minus 0.10. So if we go back here, I like that. All right. And let's see which area we did cover, and well, that's quite okay. And then there are, all right, now there are another couple of steps that I want to do with this brush, and that is giving some depth to this picture, and that I want to do by working particularly on some points or on some area of the sky, and let's say somewhere here, yeah, somewhere here, because here is the if you call it dark side of the cloud, and then you highlight the borders of this picture. So I think here it will also work quite fine. Yeah, looks not so bad. Maybe a little bit here. Yeah, quite okay. but probably a little bit over here, just a little bit over here. No, that was too much, so let's say a little bit over here, probably a little bit over here, because you see how we just decreased the light over here, and so much it just, I don't know, I just like it much more, because looks like there is a hole in this area of the sky, and that scares you. Actually, that scares you, because I don't know, it scares me, and I like it, this picture this way, because that's how I felt this picture when I saw it first time, because I literally got scared first. All right. Okay. What we can do else is to increase probably a little bit highlights in some these area, because there's a lot of I don't know, I just don't like this area very much. It's too darky, and let's click the new, let's click double effect, then let's increase a little bit highlights up to 40, let's say 38, that's fine, doesn't make much difference, and let's work in this area. It looks a little bit too wide probably, but for that what I am going to do, I'm going to use a little bit bigger brush scale, so that it doesn't really gives you very strong contrast. Yeah, say this way, that should be fine. And what else? Probably we can work, we can increase in order to highlight this area, this forest, wonderful forest. It's very, it looks absolutely stunning, and I want to add some clarity on this area. And let's see how clarity affects our picture. Again, double click, make sure that everything's set up to 0, increase clarity a little bit, 45 is fine. Not bad. I think it doesn't really destroy the picture, so let's see how it would look now. You see, it's too unrealistic in these areas. You are losing a lot of details. It's definitely popping up to the people who are looking at this picture, so I don't like it this way. I don't like this way neither, so something a little bit of increase, let's say up to 41, 45, 40, doesn't make much difference, but in this range of the numbers, but that's just fine. So now we can move slowly to our river side, and here what I want to do, I want to increase a little bit saturation. I don't know why, but I love this. I love this river, so I really want to highlight it. I really want to make sure that, oh, when people look at it, they say, wow, that's what kind of color this river does have, but at the same time, they don't say that crazy, Jesus, that picture cannot, I mean, there is no river on earth this color. So let's see let's increase a little bit saturation over here, because this is the area exactly what comes to your first view when you look at this picture, and therefore I would like to little bit highlight it over here, and probably over here somewhere, a little bit over here. Here it doesn't make much difference. Here it's probably, you can do it here as well. I don't know, I'm not sure if it makes much difference, but I'm also quite fine if it doesn't make a lot of difference, because this river already has already enough color on it. But we just saw it previously that there is a little bit of noise what we want to decrease. You see there is a lot of noise, and if you go back to details, let's say where was that noise reduction, let's say if you go up to 80, you see the noise has decreased pretty much, but it has affected whole our picture. So we want to work exactly on this area. Let's go back again, see how it affects. You see that a lot of details in this picture has been lost over here. So therefore we take the brush tool and then work on we decrease the noise of this area. So let's say something around 65, a little bit of here, then a little bit here, and then we just make sure that you always stay on this side, a little bit probably here. Of course, if you want, you can work much more in a proper way, and then zoom it up, work in a very single details like this, but it will cost us a lot of time, and our idea is not to make it perfectly wonderful, but to show how we can work on it. Therefore, let's keep it this way, little bit decreasing noise over here, but now we need to zoom, because it's just much easier if you zoom it. So it doesn't pop up when you look it at on your PC, but if you want to print it in a big format, then you will face a lot of problems. So make sure to solve it in advance as long as you can. All right, probably it's a little bit here, but it's the natural shape of the river itself, so we don't want to lose that either. Therefore, the last step what I would like to do is to use our graduated filter, because I want to do still something. I still want to improve a little bit sky, pop it a little bit, highlight it a little bit, so that first what you see okay, foreground, background, midground, background. So you see like river, then forest, and then the sky. And so we can go to graduated filter, let's say a little bit this way, and somewhere here let's delete all the effects what we have done previously. Let's increase a little bit contrast, but I want to increase interval between the lines first so that it doesn't sharply changes when you it doesn't really show the sharp changes or dramatic change somewhere here, but it just lets you to feel that change, not to see it properly with your eyes. Let's see how contrast is. I think we can keep contrast somewhere here, and then let's increase a little bit. Highlights, no. I would increase a little bit. Highlights. By the way, if you want to see which side it does affect, just simply put your hand on this point and then it will show you the red area which is getting affected by your changes. And of course, I would like to a little bit add clarity in order to make it more dramatic, and that is perfect. What is around 60, 65? Now let's leave it around 60. That should be fine. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. So that's what kind of photo it was in the beginning, and that's what we got from this. And I think that's quite dramatic change. We didn't really paint anything. All right, a little bit, just I call it just we highlighted something, and that's why we use Lightroom to highlight what we feel. And of course, if you take it as a picture, this one, that's not a photo. There is no details. You don't know any. You don't see anything over here. You don't see any color. It's just kind of unprofessional black and white something. But these, wow, this looks much more dramatic. All right, that was it. If you liked the video, click the like button, make sure you subscribe, and there will be more videos coming, not only on landscape, but also on portrait photography and on different areas of photographing. And make sure you stay tuned, stay with me, and feel free to comment. Let me know what you think about it, and if you have any ideas, feel free completely to share. Cheers.